Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Center. So let's talk North Pocono girls basketball. Joining us is the head coach, Dan Hogan. Well, Dan, it's been a great start for your team, and you have some great players. One of them may be one of the best in northeastern Pennsylvania, if not the state. Kaitlyn Lewis has really showed that she could play the game of basketball.
No, she has. She's really worked hard throughout her whole career, and this summer she had a really great off season. Playing some AAU, playing with us in the summer in a number of different tournaments, and I think for her getting the signing process out of the way, getting committed to American and having the chance to get that out of the way before the season started was helpful to her. Take some of the pressure off. So I think she's been able just to go out and play and just have some fun. So I think that's been a big reason why she's been so successful for us this year and has played so well.
Well, on a selfish note, I got to see her in track and field and thought she was absolutely outstanding, but I haven't seen her play basketball on the court live yet. I'm sure as a coach, you probably get mesmerized by watching her all the time, but boy, she burst out on the scene as a freshman in track and field, and no looking back, the time flies.
Oh, it really does. I remember her being in middle school with us, and she was had her in 8th grade, and to see her grow from just being a young kid and now growing up into being one of the best athletes in the area and a number of different sports. It's been really special to see. It's been a nice transition, and I'm really happy for her. She puts a lot of effort in, a lot of time in, and she's just always so committed to everything and a great competitor. So it couldn't happen to a better kid.
Dan, let's talk about your team as far as the inside game. Boy, there's a lot of height there at North Pocono. Tell us about your depth there and some of the young ladies that are doing the job on the inside.
We have a lot of girls that can play in that position. Alexis Stevens has had a nice year for us, and she's had a great career. We have a lot of girls in our post area that have been starting for 4 years. Alexis has been starting for 4 years for us, and she's always done a great job rebounding the basketball and running for us in transition and being able to take up a lot of space in the post and command a lot of attention, which has helped girls like Kaitlyn and some of our other guards throughout the last couple of years to be able to be successful on the perimeter. We have Maria Day, who's a girl who can play inside and be able to step out into a mid-range game, and she's got a great array of post moves, and she finishes well on the basket and is another great rebounder and a great leader for us overall. We have a girl like Rory Jordan who played a small forward or a power forward for her entire career, and then we kind of move her out to the perimeter, and she has had a lot of success for us this year and has done a lot of really small things on the court that don't show up a lot on the stat sheet, but when it comes time for important things that happen in the game, she seems to be the one to get those things done. So those 3 girls as post players for us over the last 4 years have really grown into some just tremendous players for us that do a lot of things very well that help us to be successful.
Talking with Dan Hogan, the head coach of North Pocono girls here on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Coach, how about some other guards that help complement what Kaitlyn could do on the floor?
Well, we've had a couple girls actually step up a lot this year. Brooke Bauman is a junior for us who had a great end of the season last year. She really kind of found her way towards the end of the season last year and found her niche as a defensive stopper for us. And she's played extremely well to start the year. She's been taking care of the basketball. She's had an opportunity to run the point and take some of the pressure off Kaitlyn with having the ball in her hands. And she's done a really great job of it for us. I really think that she's an excellent defender. I think probably one of the best on-the-ball defenders around and for anybody. And Chloe Pahanik is another guard who's been able to step up. She's been kind of our 6th man of the year to this point. She's been able to step on the floor and score some points for us. She's been another great defender on teams that have multiple quality guards that can step out, and she's kind of a bigger guard that can actually defend some post players as well. So those 2 girls stepping on the floor have been a really nice addition, and they're a really big piece to why we've been successful too, because they really made us a complete team on the floor with 5 or 6 people at any point that can do things very well.
Dan, let's talk a little bit about the AAA race. It's changed a little bit with Holy Redeemer going to AA, and there are some good teams out there in District 2. A little bit, a good year last year at 18-5, but you guys are kind of still, I think you put teams on notice this year. You beat Redeemer, you beat Dunmore, you played some quality opponents, and, some of the teams that I think Scranton Prep expected to have a great year this year, Honesdale expected to be very good. You guys will be in the mix when the end comes, for the most part, if everything goes well for your team.
No, I hope so. We had kind of a sour taste in our mouth last year with the end of our season. We expected to get a little bit deeper than that second round of the playoffs, and so that made our girls really hungry. And they really worked extremely hard over the course of the summer. When I talked to a lot of our girls going into the summer about kind of revamping our schedule a little bit and throwing some tougher teams on there, some state qualifying teams and district winners and district runner-ups and things from different areas in Quad A and down the Allentown area. They really wanted to jump at the chance. They thought it was an opportunity to make themselves better. And they're hungry. They don't want to settle for anything other than, starting off with the league championship and district championship. They're our goal. It's everybody's goal coming into the year. So, when I told them that we were really going to jack up our schedule and make it as tough as possible, all the girls were on board because they thought it was something that would give us a better chance to be successful in a quest for a district championship. And I think that they've responded well at the start of the year to that challenge. And, we've had some games against some really tough opponents, like you said, Holy Redeemer, Dunmore, even last night with Holy Cross, in games that, have been decided by, one or two buckets that I think that if we didn't have the senior leadership and the commitment to getting better like we have this year, I think we may have lost some of those games. But their commitment to getting better and being leaders and being more mature this year, I think has helped us pull out some of those games that, gave us some wins with some really tight stretches down the end.
Coach, you're getting those gritty efforts, and you mentioned it already, the battle against Holy Redeemer and the battle against Dunmore, and you get a Holy Cross. I mean, very, very good AA teams. You kind of get a little preview of what those playoffs are going to be already in December.
Mm-hmm. No, they are, and we never wanted to get rid of teams like Dunmore, and realizing that Holy Redeemer went down in the AA. Sometimes people say that, AA teams might not get as ready as well as some of the Quad A teams, but there are no two better teams around as far as I'm concerned than Dunmore and Holy Redeemer. So to be able to keep those two teams as some of the best AA teams in the state on our schedule is really important to us. So to be able to have our girls show the toughness that they did in those games to close those games out, and especially the Dunmore team being down 12 in the fourth quarter, and showing the grit to be able to come back and persevere through that. I think it puts us in a good position mentally as a team to be able to take on some of the challenges that we're going to see in the district playoff.
Dan, you may have covered it already in some of the conversation we've had here, but as we approach January and the regular season is starting, tell us about what you're happy about with your team, but what you still think you need to work on as a quick evaluation after 5-6 weeks of getting underway.
I'm really happy with our development in terms of our leadership. And I've already kind of touched on it with being able to close out some games that I think we may not have been able to close out last year with Dunmore and Holy Cross and Holy Redeemer. I'm really proud of that, and I'm very pleased with how our offense is moving the basketball. We put some new things in, and the girls really took to it, and they bought in. And we've executed fairly well in terms of that. I'm very pleased with our defense. We've given up some individual great efforts from players like Alexis Lewis from Holy Redeemer and Jackie Benitez from Pocono Martin West, two of possibly the best girl scorers in the state. But I think as a team effort, we made those girls work to put their points on the board, and we made the other, we really did a nice job of holding the other girls on their team in check to be able to help us come out of those games victorious. But there are two of the things I'm very pleased with: our defensive effort and our ability to execute offensively. The areas we need to work on is going to be finishing around the basket. We tend to make a lot of the more difficult shots, but I think sometimes the easy ones tend to be a little too easy and kind of surprise us, so we don't finish. And if we don't fix that at some point, that could be something I think that might come up and bite us in a game or two. But we're working every day to try to get that better, and I think sometimes it's just kind of more of a mental thing than anything else, getting over that hump to be able to finish some of those easier ones. But that's probably the biggest area I think we need to improve is just finishing around the rim as guards and post players to make sure that instead of having these games that might be 7 points or 4 points, that maybe we could extend them to double digits and not have it be so tight down the end.
Dan Hogan from North Pocono, we wish you a happy new year to you and your players and your family. We thank you for your time, and go Trojans.
All right, thanks very much, John.
All right.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Thank you. The North Pocono Lady Trojans looking for big things in 2015 as we get to January here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.